Good morning, guys. Welcome to your lesson on listening. So, when we talk about communication, people often think that when we communicate, it's when we speak, but actually, a lot of our communication is done when we are listening. Receiving information is just as important. So, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain what an active listener looks like and also be able to explain the impact on others when you listen. So FELOR is an acronym that we use to explain what an active listener looks like. And this diagram gives you a bit of ideas. It's about making sure that you face the person that you're talking to, and if they're talking to you, you're listening by facing them. You need to make sure that you give them eye contact. You're leaning in towards them a little bit, and not so much that you're in their personal space, but just so that they know that you are interested in the conversation. You use open body language, so making sure your hands are by your side, not up closed or anything like that. And you need to respond when they're speaking, but not interrupt them. So I'm going to give you a couple of ideas. When you're listening, you need to show that you're listening with some non-verbal cues, and some of those are called minimal encouragers, and it's when you're shaking your head, using facial expressions, using eye contact, and again using open body language. But you can also use verbal responses when you're listening, but usually this is done after the person has spoken. So what you can do is give minimal encouragers again, but this time you're doing it verbally, so saying stuff like oh yeah. You're trying to reflect their feelings. So once they've said something, you say stuff like, oh, so you're telling me that you feel, etc., etc. Paraphrasing is when you say something in a different way that someone has said. So, for example, if a teacher tells you that you need to go stand by the blue line and grab the blue ball, you'll say, so was that the blue line with the ball? And then also asking open-ended questions. So open-ended questions means that there are possible more responses than yes or no. So a closed question is the sun shining today? Yes or no? And then an open question is something like, what does the weather look like outside? The impact on others. So if you don't listen to people, it can have a huge impact on other people. So these are some examples. There can be a loss of friendship, cause conflict, so arguing, confusion between two people, people feeling less valued because obviously if you're not listening to them, then they may feel like you don't care about what they're saying. You miss key information, and also there's a breakdown in relationships. And often you can tell when people aren't listening because their body language shows differently. So making sure that your non-verbal cues, your body, is matching your verbal cues when you're responding to that person. Thank you, guys.